Students, whatever homework is given to you, you have to submit it on the very next day between 8 am to 1 pm to the given WhatsApp number, and it is compulsory to submit your homework as your attendance will be marked on the basis of your submission.
Good morning, children. I hope you all are good, doing well as far as education is concerned, online education. I welcome all of you again in online education of our school. Today we are doing the remaining part of social study, first chapter, Heritage of India. Yesterday we saw the natural heritage of India, the variety of natural heritage, and today we have to focus on cultural heritage. Now, what is the difference between the natural heritage and cultural heritage? It is very simple. Whatever gifts are given to us by nature, they are natural heritage. For example, the forests are there, the mountains are there, the trees, plants, animals, all come into natural heritage. Whereas the definition and meaning of cultural heritage is what? Whatever is created by human being with the help of his skill, knowledge, wisdom, that is called what? Cultural heritage. And in cultural heritage, palaces are included, forts are included, vihars, stupa, temples, mosques, tombs, forts, gates, all these things are included in cultural heritage. And let me tell you, India's civilization is one of the most ancient civilization in the world. The art and artifacts of India are almost 5,000 years old. If you remember, before some year, one movie came out in which Hrithik Roshan was the hero, and the name of that movie was Mohenjo-daro. You might have seen that, That was the beginning of civilization in India. Okay? Now, in art and artifact, so many things are there. Actually, many invaders came to India from different part of the world. British came, Dutch people came, Portuguese came, Mughals came, African people came. And whoever came to India, Indian culture exchanged, the values with them. And as a result, there is amalgamation of all culture can be seen in Indian culture. Indian culture is very rich, very prosperous, and it has got all variety. It is unique even. What I want to say that in India, if you go to visit different cities and places now, the art of France can be seen, the art of Mughals can be seen. So we exchange, the culture with the different people, and because of that only, our culture is very prosperous and very rich. We have found, the remains of Indus Valley civilization in our country, and the remains that we have obtained at different places in India and even in Gujarat. We have found the idols of gods and goddesses. We have found the idols of humans, animals, toys, and the most famous picture which is given in this book only. This toy was of a bearded man. So all these things are found in India only. Well, in different eras, different things were created by the people. For example, in Mauryan era, what was made by the people? They made bullock and lion on inverted lotus, and that was the great contribution of Mauryans in the culture of India, arts and artifacts. The statue of Gautam Buddha, the Kalakand, statues of Jain Tirthankars, and caves of Ellora, they were created by Rashtrakuta dynasty. So at different places, we go there, we should go there and we should see the art and architecture. And that's why whenever we take a pledge, children, every day you take a pledge in the classroom, okay, that I am proud of India's rich and varied heritage. If you really want to see the heritage of India, go to different historical places and then you can see the arts and architectures there only. Whether it is temple of Somnath, whether it is temples are there, you know, many temples are there, especially when you go in South India. Well, the unique temples were created during the different eras. If you go to Rajasthan, you can see the forts built up 1000 years ago. In cultural heritage, as I told you, sculptures, stupa, vihar, chaitya, temples, mosque, tomb, fort, gates, all these things are included. And apart from that, you know, when Gandhiji started freedom movement in India, you know, the Sabarmati Ashram was established by him only. And that is also a very historical place. That also comes in cultural heritage. You know, Dandi, Bardoli, Wardha, Shantiniketan, these all contribute in the cultural development of India. Apart from all these things, there are language, script, discovery of zero, mathematics, calendar, astronomy, iron, literature, religion, Yuddha Shastra, chariot, political science, zoology, botany, Vastu Shastra, republic, judiciary, legislation, environmental protection. These all are the discoveries of India. So apart from India's very rich cultural heritage, we have to see the cultural heritage of Gujarat also. We all live in Gujarat, okay? So we should be knowing that which cultural heritage buildings are found and discovered in Gujarat. We have found, you know, the remains of Indus Valley civilization at different places, like Lothal is there, Rangapura is there, Dholavira is there. So we have established museum, and whatever remains were discovered by the people, all the things are kept in those museum only. Lothal is situated in Dholka district. Dholka Taluka, and district is Ahmedabad only. Rangapur, it is situated in Surendranagar. Then Dholavira is there in Kutch. Apart from all these discoveries, okay, but we have got in Gujarat the great historical buildings like Rojadi the pilgrim places are there, the Victory Tower of Vadnagar, stone inscription of King Asoka at Junagadh, Sun Temple of Modhera, Gate of Champaner, Rudra Mahalaya of Siddhapur, Mansar Lake of Viramgam, Jama Masjid of Ahmedabad, Jhulta Minara, second minarets are there, Sidi Sayyadi Jali, Temple of Hati Singh, Sahasralinga Lake of Patan, Raj Mahal of Baroda, Tomb of Muhabbat Khan. These all are, you know, the historical buildings. And whenever we go there, we feel proud in us for the rich cultural heritage of India. Apart from these historical places, you know, some great pilgrim places are also situated in Gujarat. For example, Dwarikadhish Temple of Dwarika, Sharda Peeth of Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Somnath Temple, Ambaji Temple, Bahucharaji Temple, Ranchod Rai's Temple in Dakor, and Samlaji Temple. These all are world famous cultural heritage examples. We should go there, we must see them, so that how glorious was our past, how skillful people we had in past, that we will come to know. So whenever vacation is there, I request all of you to go to these historical places along with your parents. Then after fairs of Gujarat, you know, fairs is a gathering of human beings. And in Gujarat, at different places, different fairs are organized by the people and the government both. Let me read out names of some of the names of these fairs. For example, the first one is Modera Fair. Modera Fair is arranged at Modera in Mehsana district, and that is always organized in the third week of January. Second is Baucharaji Fair. Baucharaji Fair is organized near Baucharaji Temple in Mehsana. Shamlaji Thakurji Fair is organized every year at Shamlaji. Bhadarvi Poonam Fair, this is world famous, at Ambaji this fair is arranged. Bhavnath Mahadev Fair, it is arranged in Junagadh. Tarnetar Fair is there, it is organized in Surendranagar. So list of the fair is given here that we have to read and to learn, because in 1 mark question, in objective question, any of the fair will be given to you and you will be asked to mention the place where it is organized and when it is organized. That is to be kept in mind. After natural heritage and cultural heritage, we have to see India's land and its people. We all live here in India, so we are Indians, but only the natives of India are not the Indians, but the people who came from different continent of the world, different countries of the world, even they started living here in India only. Why? The reason is very simple. We are peace-loving people. We believe in trade, right? We have given the concept of non-violence. We have given the message of universal brotherhood. We believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And because of all these things, the variety of culture of the world can be seen in India. There is amalgamation of all cultures in India. Now, let us see which people contribute in the development of cultural heritage in India. The first is Negrotoid or Hapsi people. These Hapsi people are not the natives of India. They are not original Indians. These Negrotoid people, Hapsi people, they came from Africa via Balochistan. Basically, they are Africans. And how are the Africans? We all know that. You might have seen the players of West Indies, how beautiful Chris Gayle is, very handsome. So, Negrotoid people or Hapsi people, their skin color is black only and their height is 4 to 5 feet. And from where did they come? They came from African continent via Balochistan. Remember this. The second is Australoid or Nishad people. Even this is second version of Negrotoid, but there is a minor difference between Negrotoid and Australoid. Even Australoid people have got black skin, their head is very broad only, nose is flat, and they are short in height. These people came to India before the arrival of Aryan people. And these people are found at in different states of India, like Assam is there, Andaman Nicobar Islands, and Myanmar. They are found at different places. And yes, their contribution in development of Indian culture is immense only. These people, they used to make their utensil by themselves only. They started wearing the cotton cloth and they had great skills in them. So, Negrotoid people, Australoid people, and now comes the Dravidians. Dravidian people are the original Indians, okay? And Dravidian people were the creators of Mohenjo-daro civilization. They came to our country from north, and even today they have kept their language alive, and their cultural features are unique only. Dravidians people were the first people who believed in gods and goddesses. They always consider father as a god and mother as a goddess. These people started worshipping Lord Shiva and Parvati. These people, they had unique family system in their society. These people started worshipping the gods and goddesses through Aarti. They used to lit dhoop, deep, and they used to worship not only the gods and goddesses, but yes, they used to worship the nature also. And when Aryans came into India, well, the tussle took place between the Aryans and Dravidians. So all Dravidians, they migrated from north side of our country to South India. And even today, they have kept their language alive. And which are the Dravidian languages? Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. Even today, they have kept their culture alive. And these people are broad-minded people, you know. When the Aryans came, well, they arranged inter-caste marriage also. So this is all about the Dravidian people. And now comes Mongoloids. Mongoloids actually came to India from China. And they have got yellowish color of skin. And because of that, they are known by Kirat. Kirat is another name of Mongoloid. And how are the Chinese people? We all know that. They have got yellowish complexion of skin, flat face, almond-shaped eyes. So these are the special features. And recently, we have seen, you know, the Chinese people on television. You might be knowing that, you know, recently a couple of weeks ago, the tussle took place the fight took place between Indian soldiers and Chinese soldiers. So we all know how do they look like. Mongoloid people, when they came to India, they are settled mainly in West Bengal, Sikkim, North Assam, and obviously our neighboring country Bhutan. There also the Mongoloid people are found. Then some other tribes also came to India, Alpine, Dinaric and Armenoid. And these Alpine, Dinaric and Armenoid, they are found in Gujarat, Saurashtra, Maharashtra, Bengal and Odisha. The Habsi people live in Gujarat even. In Gir forest, well, couple of years ago, our school organized a tour to Gir forest. Okay, we went there, and when we were visiting different places in Junagadh, at that time we saw one house of Africans only, and you know the Negroid people or Australoid people, they exist today. The entire village, no Gujarati is there, no Indian is there, but South African people, one village is situated in Gir region. So, so many, you know, the tribes came into India and they all contributed in the growth of cultural heritage of India. And finally comes the Aryans, Nordic Aryans. They are the creator of Aryan civilization in India. In fact, it was believed that all Hindus are Aryans only. In past, all Hindus were Aryans, and the place where Aryans lived, that place is known by Aryavarth today.